Hello, I'm John Da Silva, and welcome to my channel, John Da Silva Photography. I've been photographing for about 50 years, which is a sobering thought. So some of you might be thinking, what does this old guy know? What can he teach me about photography? Let me give you a little history. I attended the Southeast Center for Photographic Studies over in Daytona Beach, Florida. I also attended Crealde School of Art in Winter Park. And for the last 12 years, I've been a photographer in Disney's Fine Art Photography department. So between education and experience, hopefully I can pass on some tips, tricks, and shortcuts to help you with your photography. Now, I love wildlife and travel photography. I was just able to visit my seventh continent, Antarctica, and loved it. Hopefully you know what you love. And if not, maybe these videos will help you determine what you love in photography. Now, if anybody visits Orlando, or if you know someone who needs a photographer in Orlando, hit me up in the comments section and maybe I can help you. Now, as a photographer, we always must stay flexible. And during the pandemic, that's what I had to do. I had to change my business a little bit. And always remember, if you want to be successful, being flexible is always the best bet. So watch some videos. Hope you learned some stuff. Make any comments you want in the comments section, and I'll see you soon. Photography. Today's video is on Everest Base Camp, covering everything that I took for a successful photographic journey to Everest Base Camp. Now, Everest Base Camp and Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa were similar in terms of what I took. Now, Everest Base Camp got much colder than Kilimanjaro. Summit night was pretty cold in Kilimanjaro because it was at night, but as the sun came up, it warmed up and it was pretty bearable. But Everest Base Camp was pretty cold. The overnight at base camp was quite cold. We wore practically everything we had to stay warm. Now, that being said, again, I had no trouble or took no special precautions for the most important thing, which were the batteries and keeping their battery life. You know, some people have like hand warmers, or people suggest using hand warmers or other methods to keep your batteries warm. I slept with them at night. I kept them, with me during the day as I hiked. I kept them close to my body in pockets or whatever. Even they would go into a pocket or some kind of holding place, and then all my other layers would go over on top of me. I would never have them in the outside pockets because they just didn't get that much heat protection there, or kept warm there. So I kept them close to my body, never ran out of battery power. Even so, along the way, there were places that you could charge your batteries and cell phones and other things. However, so fully dressed and everything, used my big low pro backpack again, the sling, which is my go-to bag now for most hikes, for most trips. This was ideal because also, again, it has a little big pockets, actually two on either side, and you can put your Camelback bladder in there, whatever you're using, your drinking system. And as you're hiking, this comes over my shoulder, and I can just draw on water whenever I need it, which can be often. And then all my other camera gear went inside that bag, but also not just my camera gear, because again, I travel as light, as you already know, as much as possible. So I had a lot of extra room for a beanie cap and gloves and other things to supplement not having to carry another bag. Now, I did get lucky because the expedition company that I used to go to Everest Base Camp saw my website, and they asked me if I would take pictures of my experience for them. Now, so we agreed through discussion that I would do that, but they would supply me an extra guide who actually carried my heavy backpack. So I actually planned then to put all my heavy stuff in there, even non-camera stuff. And so he carried, part of the agreement was that he carried my heavy backpack, which freed me up and was fantastic. It was really nice just to carry my camera, and whenever I needed anything, he was there. I could pull it from the backpack and make any changes that was required. He also carried the tripod. Again, the tripod was mostly for night photography. because it's quite stunning there with very low light pollution. There were some opportunities for moving water to slow down my shutter to get some nice smooth water pictures. So it was a good thing to have the tripod with me. Also, I took group photos, which was part of the planned between myself and the expedition company. So, and I had to get into those pictures. So the tripod also came in handy for taking pictures of other expedition teams that were going to Everest Base Camp. So the usual items: rain sleeve, always important. I always start with a plastic bag. It's funny that I have expensive gear here, but this is one of the most important things to have to protect your camera. And then the camera strap, everything else you've been told about before. The three lenses, 15 to 30, 28 to 75, and 70 to 200. My 2x teleconverter, because Everest is big and it's far away, and you want to bring some of those peaks in close and get some tight shots. The 3 batteries, the battery charger, polarizer, very helpful in snow, and of course the one body and a flash. I mentioned in another video about overexposure, purposefully overexposing when you're in a snowy environment or anything light colored, or if you're taking a picture of a white room. It doesn't matter if it's white, if it's very light colored. You generally have to overexpose to get the true color of what you're photographing. So in Everest Base Camp, where there's a lot of snow, you have to overexpose maybe about a stop, or you set your exposure compensation on your camera. Again, I've covered all this in the Antarctica video, so you can check back with that. Or basically, if you know already from watching that video or through your life practices, overexposed to make sure that snow is always white. So basically, in a nutshell, that was my trip to Everest Base Camp. That was the gear. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section. I'll get back to you if you need a response. Don't forget, if you're in Orlando, or if you're coming to Orlando, you need a photographer, I'm your guy. Get a hold of me. We'll work together. Also, if you want to buy any of my prints, they're all online on my website. And if you don't see anything, but you know that I've traveled to 60 countries, and you want something from a particular country, just let me know. It's probably in my library, my archive. I'll pull it up, share it with you, and if you like it, it's yours. So anyway, see you at the next video. Thanks for watching.